In 3, 2, 1. Yo, everyone. Welcome to Filmmaker Mike and the boys. Joining me in this episode is Sequestered Jester.
Hey, everybody.
Pinhead.
What's up?
And Kuya.
Hi.
All righty. So we're going to kick off this episode with our second listener voice message. So
Dun, dun.
Kind of scared.
This is from Jesse. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it so you guys can listen.
Okay.
The boys. I've been enjoying this podcast since the start. I know I can get all my pop culture news when I tune in. 50 hours is a lot, and you're doing a good job hitting your stride. Mike has been a great host. Kuya has some interesting and funny comments. Mister has some great banter, but come on, bro. Everything's better with titties.
Oh, wow.
Pinhead in this review. But I think I'll do that in the next minute. So where do we start with Pinhead? At first I was like, who is this guy? Always yelling, fuck that guy, and fuck this guy, and fuck Neil Druckmann, and fuck John Cena. Feels like you're always on the defense, like you're being attacked personally. Like they made The Last of Us 2 just to piss you off. I know this world is filled with cancel culture and snowflakes, but come on, man. Why trash things so maliciously if you know people out there actually love these things? What if I went on a tangent on how Dune is trash and Frank Herbert needs to shove a sandworm up his dead ass? It would make you not want to listen to me if you had the choice. But Pinhead, I do enjoy what you have to say. I have learned to filter out the non-logical ranting and focus on your plus sides. You have come up with good points most of the time. I do enjoy most of your formulated sentences. I do enjoy your horror updates and recommendations. We can agree that Mortal Kombat 11 is a badass game. But when you turned it all around for me is when you said that Lamb of God's solo album was the best album of the year. You now have an official fan. Even though you only have one, you still have a fan. Thank you guys for all the hard work you do.
I love this guy.
That Man of Steel energy.
There you go.
I love this guy. Like, he's my hero now. And to correct one point you had, I would actually love your commentary if you told Frank Herbert to shove a sandworm up his dead ass. Like, I'd love it. So that wouldn't offend me. Like, I actually love, on that point, people who despise Dune because I understand it. Maybe if you pick something else, you know, like Phantasm or Hellraiser, but I get your point. But no, I would not be offended by Dune because I understand why, and Jester could attest to this reading the first book. I can understand why people would not be excited for it. Hence is why I went on that rant, like I do sometimes, about how Dune will not make it successfully at the box office because of that reason. Because people will be turned off by Dune. Otherwise, the guy's my hero. I love this guy. Love him.
Yeah, so we want to say thank you to Jesse for leaving us our second listener voicemail, which is
thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate
cool
it.
to get. But yeah, we appreciate it. So yeah, if you guys are listening and you want to leave us a listener voicemail, you can do so on the Anchor website. We have it, the website on the show notes, and we should have the link up there as well on wherever you see the show, and then also on YouTube as well. I always put the link in the show description. Yeah, you can leave a voice message. You can leave a max of 1 minute per message. So that's what I explained to Jesse. Like you can keep leaving messages as long as you like. It's a 1 minute max, so you have to like keep it under a minute, I guess, per message, and then we can just put it all into one, which is what I did on the Anchor app, and so it flows like one message. So yeah, thanks again, Jesse. We do appreciate you, and thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you, Jesse.
So yeah, all righty. So kicking things off, we are recording today on a Sunday, and we got the official trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, the highly anticipated MonsterVerse movie. and we're getting this. They moved it up. Warner Brothers moved this movie up in March. We weren't supposed to get this till much later, but they are now dropping it on, I think it's March 16th, I want to say. So we are getting this day and date on HBO Max and in theaters. So, but of course, a movie like this begs to be seen, of course, on the biggest screen possible. And so it is, release date is March 26th, 2021, directed by Adam Wingard, music composed by Junkie XL, and the budget is between 160 to $200 million. So, official description: fearsome monsters Godzilla and King Kong square off in an epic battle for the ages, while humanity looks to wipe out both of the creatures and take back the planet once and for all. So, yeah, trailer is pretty dang amazing. I turned up my surround sound and it sounded great. And wow, what a trailer to see these. Is this the first time we're getting Godzilla versus Kong ever on the big screen? No.
Oh, not on the big screen, no.
Not on the big screen.
This is the first time we're getting it at this level, because thank you, Marvel. This is the first time we're getting it at this level, but no, not in the history. It's not the first time that it's happened.
Okay. So yeah, trailer looks fantastic. Lots of monster action and little tiny human action as well. I still need to see Godzilla King of Monsters. I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max, so I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yes, correct. It
with
is
the
on HBO Max.
With Millie Bobby Brown, and I did notice her. I think her was it her mom that played Vera Farmiga? Was her mom in that?
Yeah, in the movie she is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Doesn't look like she's back here, so I don't know. Spoilers. Gotta see that movie first.
Well, not really spoilers. I'll just say that, not to be a hater, but there's critical issues with it. It's not a terrible film. I think a lot of people really brought the baseball bats to the knees a little too much to this movie, because it wasn't as terrible as everyone said it was. But as we were discussing, the human characters they're too much in the forefront, and no one cares about that. I think we can all come to an agreement across the world. When we go see these monster movies, we're going to see it for the monster. So if it says on the marquee Godzilla, we're going to go see it for Godzilla. We're not going to go see it for Patrick, who's there, who's the head of defense and in the Department of Administration and whatever. Like, no one cares about that.
Let them fight.
Exactly. And that's what I like about that is he is throughout the movie pretty much. I don't know if that's the writer, whatever, but that is a consistent. He is our voice throughout the movie, where he's practically almost breaking character in some parts of the movie, where he's like, enough is enough with you shitty human characters. We don't care. Let them battle it out, please. It was an issue with the first Godzilla, but it's nowhere near as heavy as it is in King of Monsters. So
I was gonna say, because the first Godzilla that they made actually quite surprised me, because I enjoyed it. It was like different, and it was, I don't know, it was just different. It was more about the monsters, and
it was fresh.
Yeah. I still need to see the second one. The second one's King of Monsters, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what I agree with you, Jester. Like, that's 100%. Like, I agree. That's where I'm like, the first one was just, it had the perfect, nice little touch of, okay, we got human characters, yes. But like as Kuya said off air, we got one we really loved, and he bit the dust within the first 10 minutes of the movie, which is like, oh, and the saddest part about it is that was him coming fresh off of his role in Breaking Bad, and you go, okay, we got this huge Emmy, Golden Globe winning actor. He's coming huge off this success. Let him kick the bucket in 10 minutes. That kind of mistake, you know how you might not like that, is constant in King of Monsters, where you're like, okay, I kind of, no. And every person that you're supposed to feel something for, they're shitty, hateful human beings. Like Vera Farmiga's character is supposed to be, you're supposed to feel sympathy and have sympathetic and empathy toward her. She's a hateful, shitty human being. As you go down the movie's line, without spoiling it for people who have not seen it, as you go throughout the movie, you go, this woman's not exactly the greatest person in the world. I kind of hope one of the monsters eats her. So I'm hoping, and the point is to all this, I'm hoping they avoid these landmines that they have in Godzilla versus Kong. But from what we've seen in the trailer, I'm not so sure, because Millie Bobby Brown is back, and make no mistake about, they're going to push that to its bitter end, because we didn't have much of anything on the Stranger Things front this year. So I'm just scared that Kong and Godzilla are going to take a back seat to the Millie Bobby Brown. And that, like I said a moment ago, that's not what we're here for. I love you. I think she's great. And I think she is the future. She is the future. She's going to be a phenomenal actress. She will grow into be she probably, dare I say, will win an Oscar somewhere down her career. But we're not here for her. We're here for Kong and Godzilla. Don't do it again. Don't do it. We want to see the monsters fight. We don't care about the humans. In King of Monsters, they went too far with it. That's all I'm saying. They went way too far with it. And by the time we got to the monsters, you were almost to the point where you're like, I kind of don't care now.
Right.
Yeah, I think in this trailer, they show a little girl who can somehow communicate with Kong.
Yeah.
And she can somehow connect with him. I think this trailer does show Millie Bobby Brown, but not as much as the King of Monsters one did.
That is true.
Yeah, I do remember the first trailer for that for Godzilla King of Monsters had this sweeping score, and it was just like all the score, like there wasn't a whole lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And that, I love that trailer. That was a beautiful trailer. It was great to see on the big screen. And
this music sucked.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with I could have done it without the whole.
Not to interrupt you, but
right.
When you talk about what you just said there, and in that beautiful description of how beautiful that trailer was, and then you get hype music for this that wasn't really hype music.
Right. And
it was mediocre hype music.
I'm not sure, because I know that they Hollywood has a lot of trailer houses that mix these trailers. It's not necessarily the studio that makes it. So they hire these companies to make trailers for, like, it's a third party company basically that makes trailers for movies.
Right.
Unless it's like specific, certain like directors or like that actually cut the trailer. Like, let's say Christopher Nolan most likely be heavily involved with the trailers for his films, which is a rare thing for a lot of movies like this.
He has that power.
Right, that too. That he can basically say, he has the say on what is shown and what is featured, and that's it, But yeah, for this one, it's most likely a trailer house that mixed the trailer and added some hype music, showed it to Warner Brothers. They're like, yep, that's it. That's what we're going with.
Yeah, that's my only complaint with the trailer, to be honest, is that music I was like, oh, this is cringe.
Yeah, could have been better. But from what we've seen, from what I've seen, the action, the freaking Kong and Godzilla smashing each other, hitting each other in the face, like, it looks awesome.
More of that. That's
exactly.
what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of, because King of Monsters did that. King of Monsters sold us a bill of goods. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great follow-up. I saw it. I gave it the 3 chances. I've actually seen Godzilla King of Monsters 4 times. because there's like denial, and because I love Godzilla, and I'm like, this movie's good. They did that where they show, and you can see it for yourself. Everyone can see it for themselves. The viewers, the listeners, they can see it for themselves. You can go and look at those trailers, those early trailers, and the latter trailers, especially of King of Monsters, and we're like hyping us up. We don't get that in King of Monsters, not the level they hyped it up, until it's too late. So I don't want, please do not do that with this movie, because this is the battle of the century. For me, yes, it's been done maybe, but it wasn't. This is a different universe. This is a different, and this has been argued many times, but it's the facts. This is a different Godzilla. This is a different Kong. This is not the same Kong of the Lord of that. People have argued about this. It should not be an argument. This is not the original Kong or Godzilla.
So question with that though, is this the Kong from that last Kong movie with Hiddleston and
no?
Okay, I just want to make
Jack
sure.
Black one.
No.
Oh no! Oh yeah. Yes, correct. Sorry.
Okay,
The one with Dewey Cox in it.
Yeah, he had like
Kong
the best
Skull
sacrifice.
Island.
Yes, this is
Skull
in
Island,
that continuity. This is in the Gareth Edwards first Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, and King of Monsters continuity.
Right.
Just making sure.
With Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson.
With Sam Jackson, correct. Yeah. Thank you. How could I forget that?
This is not the King Kong of Peter Jackson 3-hour epic.
No. And this is not the Ronald Emmerich Godzilla 1998-97 Kong like Godzilla.
P. Diddy. I love that song too.
Yeah, no, this isn't that Godzilla. We're in a different continuity.
Hey man, I like that Godzilla.
It's a guilty. Honestly, I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack was
phenomenal. Great, yeah. And
the soundtrack blows the movie away. Like if you listen to the soundtrack, you're like, this comes from that movie.
Didn't Puff Daddy get sued by Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, and then they squashed the beef.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they have, like, if I'm not mistaken, there was an appearance at an award show.
There was a payout, right? There was a payout.
Yeah, there was the payout, and then there was an appearance after that payout at a certain award show, if I'm not mistaken, where they performed together and squashed the beef. So
yeah, that was like when I heard that, I was like, hey, that's Kashmir. the fuck is P. Diddy doing with Kashmir? And then I was like, oh.
But the whole soundtrack, like the Jamiroquai.
Oh, it was song, it was great.
The cover of Heroes by the Wallflowers is the best. Not only the best David Bowie cover, but it's one of the top 5 best covers of all time. Like their version of Heroes, this might get me a little bit of, but who cares? I'm not liked, as was stated earlier. I actually like their version of Heroes better than David Bowie's. So, hot take there. Yeah. Yeah. The remake was better.
I can't remember if it was a teaser trailer for that Godzilla, the Gareth Edwards film, or it's an actual scene in the movie where they do the military does the halo jump, and then you can hear the score, and it's like really haunting, and they start singing. They start seeing how big
it was a trailer, I think.
Yeah,
it was. That was in the movie too, but the song was in the trailer.
Yeah. And it's really haunting as they're like dropping down, and then seeing how massive Godzilla
I got goosebumps when I heard that. I was like,
yeah.
Let's go back to this movie, the Versus one. In that Godzilla movie, Godzilla was fucking massive, right? Like huge.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. King Kong in the King Kong movie, the Skull Island, wasn't as big.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
So
he was massive.
So I've got stats here. This is from IGN, from IGN.com. Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, hails from Japan. Height, 393 feet.
Okay.
Catchphrase, or fights with claws. Catchphrase, roar.
God.
And then for Kong, The eighth wonder of the world hails from Skull Island, height 104 feet.
Okay, so stop there. Mike, look at your background right now.
Okay, you're looking at Kong, and he's like standing up.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. Well, I mean, it would be ridiculous if he was half the size of Godzilla, and people would easily be like, "There's no way, bro. There's no way."
I know, but I'm just like I'm just going by whatever, because like in Skull Island, I remember fucking he fought didn't he fight like a dinosaur or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I was just like, okay, he's getting his ass kicked by a fucking dinosaur, and I'm just like, if they're gonna do a Godzilla movie, how the fuck is this gonna happen?
Hold on, Kuya.
He's mixing him up
because that predates this battle. He's gotten much stronger.
Okay.
According to the trailer, we'll find out how he's been through battles, and it's made him battle tested, and he's ready.
No. In the trailer, like he punched fucking Godzilla in the mouth. I was like, wow.
But they
that's kind of cool.
allude to, but if you go back and watch the trailer, they allude to the fact that they're gonna do a flashback sequence. I may be wrong, but that's what I got out of they're gonna have a flashback sequence where we see how Kong has been built up on Skull Island. Because from what I saw, they show a Skull Island shot, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I want to see the fight. Like again, I don't have any, because I'm a Gojira fan from like way back. I want him to win.
No, you're old school.
I want him to win, but I want to see what Kong's all about, because like Kong, like he was getting lasered like on the chest, and he was like,
correction, he's not getting lasered on the chest.
Oh,
Kong,
it was something else?
Yeah,
was he
Kong
holding something?
Holding like a helicopter or a tower of some sort.
Oh, okay.
To block that shit.
Okay, I thought it was like a fucking. I was like, he was taking it in the chest. Holy shit! His fur is like fucking like laser proof.
Yeah. So here's my Kong. I've got an 18-inch Kong here.
Hey, that's what she said.
I was just about to say the same thing, dude. Oh my gosh.
I knew it.
Listening.
Mike is of German and Spanish descent.
Oh my god!
No, you know what I'm saying.
For those,
you know what I'm saying.
I got an 18-inch King Kong toy right here.
Oh, okay.
And then my Godzilla vinyl toy that I got from Toys R Us is smaller. I need a bigger Godzilla to go against this 18-inch Kong.
That's what you said too.
Because that's not even that looks like Son of Godzilla.
Yeah, it was just one of those like vinyl designer toys, so it's much smaller. This is like what, 6?
Hey, just because Godzilla's Asian doesn't mean
Yeah, that's why he's like 393 feet. He's like, fuck you guys. I'm 300. By the way, these measurements for their height, it says here, last recorded measurements. So whenever they got to
Who did that though?
Huh?
Was it IGN officially, or did someone else do that and they're reporting it?
It's officially, it's from IGN.
And that's why it's suspect.
Yeah, that's why it's sus.
It's sus right off the bat, because it comes from there.
Who knows? I mean, they used to, not too long ago, but at least 10 years ago, they used to have every movie that would come out used to have its own website. There were stats about characters, plot details, trailers, but now it's all social media. So they don't.
Yeah, I know.
Now I'm wondering if the official Godzilla versus Kong Instagram has something.
Because if it came from there, especially if it said Warner Brothers Legendary, I'd be like, okay, I'll shut my mouth.
There's nothing.
Then I'll step back.
But is everybody like like ready to watch this?
Hell yeah.
I'm ready.
And that's where
I'm looking forward to it.
That's where we come to the problem. That's why when Mike mentioned the budget, I went, you're not making that back. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's why they're going with, you got HBO Max.
Exactly, because they need that. They need it.
Right.
And the rumor
this is following the Justice League hype, right?
Yeah, yes, because this is out on March 26th. So I'm assuming that Zack Snyder's Justice League
March 14th
before then, or maybe even after. Who knows? They could,
or maybe the beginning of March. But what I'm saying is, they're not on. They needed to do this. That's why when we got into that conversation about everybody crying about it. A movie like this had to do it because it's not going to make that budget back, especially in COVID era theater times. It is not happening. They are not making that back because we know this because mathematics tells us this, because we saw the budgets from the last two movies, or the box office returns, from the last two movies in non-COVID era, fully robust IMAX and theaters. And it didn't, especially King of Monsters, didn't do so well at the box office. Now we add in COVID with limited, you're not making that money back. So it's good that HBO Max stepped in and went, hey, we're going to help you out. We know you're going to take a bath on this. Let's put it here so we can make some money. Because the fact of the matter is, going back to Kuya, is anybody really hyped about Godzilla versus Kong?
I want to see the fight. I honestly want to see the fight.
I do. Maybe. But
Jester,
the
what about you?
general audience, are they really hyped about that? Or are they still going, when's Black Widow coming out? When's the next Star Wars?
So just looking at my news feed, a lot of people have shared the trailer and have shared excitement for the movie.
And that's good. That's good. But we need to see that in deeds, because we see a lot of the times where the trends go up, and then when it's time to put the money where the mouth is, like a Thanos snap, no one's there to be seen.
Yeah.
It happened with the last two. It happened with the last two Godzilla films. It happened with Kong Skull Island. Everybody, they built it up and it was huge, and we were all and nobody really went to see it. It was it did not live up to blockbuster expectations. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It didn't. But the mathematics shows it. So this, I want this movie to succeed. I'm not trying to be this pessimist all the time, but when we look at the mathematics, we don't even have to listen to me. Just go look at the arithmetic. That proves people aren't tuning into this. And I can't explain why. I really don't know why, because these are interesting characters. But the people are not putting their butts in the seats. Even before the pandemic, they weren't doing it. Not to the level of Godzilla and Kong. Are you kidding me? These guys should be making in-game numbers. I'm sorry, but they should. The legacy behind these guys and the technology we have now, they should be making, at the very least, Captain Marvel numbers. And they're not doing that. So I want everybody to support this film, but I don't know if they'll do it. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, we'll see. I mean, and that's why they opted for streaming on HBO Max, because they know a lot of people who, especially in areas where theaters are still closed, it'll be more accessible to people. So we shall see how it does.
Yep. I honestly love monster movies. I grew up watching them. One of my favorite animes of all time. Right, Mike? You agree with this? Voltus 5?
Oh yeah.
It's a monster movie.
Never.
Or it's a monster. It's a anime about monsters, and how this group of five teenagers in flying vehicles form a big ass robot. You know, it's the precursor to Voltron.
Right.
I've loved monsters. Like, you know, like when what's the name of that fucking movie with the kaiju and shit? Pacific Rim. Like I loved Pacific Rim, the first one. The second one I even tolerated, even though it wasn't as good as the last one, right?
You're canceling the apocalypse.
You know, but I loved it just because it's about like these big ass fucking things and destroying the world and all that stuff. So like when I heard about Godzilla and King Kong fighting, I was like, it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time, like to see, like, I'm sure at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody. They're gonna pull, like, the real baddie.
Yeah,
And then they're gonna tag team each other. Yeah, they're gonna agree to disagree and then walk away, and they're gonna be like, I respect you, Godzilla. I respect you, King Kong, and then they're gonna go their separate ways.
Kiss and make up.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I need to retract my previous statement. Not the sub villain, because the sub villain will be the human ecosystem terrorist or whatever.
Yeah.
The actual villain will be,
Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Godzilla. Like, we're going, because you can't. Or hey, maybe it's Ultraman. Who knows? But we're gonna get the real. We're gonna get the real villain, and it's not gonna be these two going for like we would like. It's not gonna happen because we gotta stop Ultraman or Mecha Godzilla, and then we gotta stop also the eco terrorist or the trash can man. So
I'm thinking the little kid is gonna be the Martha moment. Mike,
correct.
What do you think? The little kid that bonded with King Kong.
See that.
And they didn't realize that. No, they didn't realize that the little kid also bonded with Godzilla. So
right
you
as
never
he's
know.
blowing his atomic breath, the little girl comes in and goes with her beautiful little tears in her beautiful eyes.
And then he stops, right? And then all of a sudden, Godzilla crushes her. Oh, that's the Godzilla moment. Or that's
no, he doesn't crush her.
That's our daughter.
He breaks a bridge that has water below it, and she's gonna fall to her doom. And then all of a sudden,
King Kong saves her. Yeah.
And we're gonna have that Bloods, Crips, TRG standoff where we're just
hell yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Are we gonna
what
do
about
this?
The little girl? Fuck her. We'll deal with her later.
Yep.
But she'll be all right. She'll be all right.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine because she's gonna get protected. But
exactly. The government's going to come in.
I'm looking forward to.
The government will come in and be the hero. Mark my words. The government will come in, and they'll save the day while those guys are battling and doing the real work. So just like real government.
I'm looking forward to a popcorn movie again. So this is a popcorn movie,
and
I can't
so
wait.
we can move this along. That's what I'm looking forward to. But we're not going to get a popcorn movie if we're talking about. Well, I came in here and I'm doing this because the Mother Nature needs to bow to my will. Like, okay, we don't care about the soliloquies and we don't care. We want these guys. This is, like I said earlier, this is the moment where Hollywood, you can do your job and let us be brain dead idiots, and we'll accept it because that's what we want out of these movies. Clanging and banging. That's what we want. We don't want a philosophy on why humans should be better human beings and why they should put their trash in the trash can and recycling in the recycle. Like, we don't need that. Stop. Just stop.
A commercial with like Godzilla with
the tear coming down his eye.
Don't ruin my home.
So to move it on, before we go, I'm sorry, we need to hear from my girl Jester. What do you feel about it? Like, I want to know your opinion. I'm not being an asshole. No. I want to know your opinion because you're more in that, if I'm not mistaken, unless you have a surprise where you have this great knowledge about Godzilla. You're more in the category of the regular schmo there, for a lack of better term. Sorry.
No. So I have seen the originals. So when King of Monsters was announced, I was really excited because I remember like Mothra and is it Gorgon? Gosh, I think it was Gorgon. Anyway, I just remember those monsters. So to see Kong come in, I'm really excited for. Now, the first the Gareth Edwards Godzilla that came out.
Did you say Girth Edwards?
Was Gareth, right?
Gareth, no.
Gareth?
He didn't.
Gareth,
because I thought we were still about the 18-inch Kong that Mike has.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, I've got Gareth Edwards and then 18.
Nice. Nice.
No.
The man finished, for Christ's sake.
I'm sorry, Jester.
Well, with all that girth, I should be able to just fine. But,
Oh.
Oh, wow.
so anyway, this goes back to where like I felt like my comparison on like a perfect monster movie is Pacific Rim, because I felt like Del Toro just did like the impossible with that movie. He got everything in one. He got the perfect story, he got the monster mash that we all want to see, and he had some decent character development. You know, they didn't have enough time to do that, but it was still good enough to where I didn't even question it.
The soundtrack was amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it got you hyped
And
up.
I not to interrupt too much, but I want to go on record. The reason why I was holding my chest, and you'll see in the previous episode, Jester once again agreed with Kuya. I'm like, I'm about to fall over. It's blowing my mind. What the fuck is this? The Twilight Zone?
Pinhead. Pinhead is 2021. It's 2021.
Okay.
You know, it's all about love. So like, Jester and I disagree on a lot of things.
Kumbaya,
but right now, I'm just like, we're on a streak. We're on a streak of agreeing with each other, right?
Yeah. So back to my point.
Yeah.
When the newest release of, because I even like the Matthew Broderick Godzilla. I know so many people hate on that movie, but like I actually do enjoy it.
Like I said, it's a guilty pleasure of mine too.
It is, and I'll say the same thing.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing because I remember watching it with my pop and stuff. But when the newest one came out, it seemed to hit all the right notes. Like I was intrigued, I was interested to see what they were gonna do with it. I had a lot of fun with that movie. I didn't get to see King of Monsters yet, so I can't say anything about that. But the original Godzilla just hit it missed a couple points with the human characters a little bit, but then again, I didn't really care because the monster fight at the end was just awesome. So with this new one and seeing Kong come back, I'm really excited for that, and I think it's important for him to have. I say him as in Kong. I think it's important for him to have like that little girl, because you know everything kind of brings him. At least with all his movies, he cares about something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that's really important to have. But overall, I don't care about the character, so to speak. I care about the monster fight, and to Pinhead's point, they just need to just focus on that. And I know what you're talking about with King of Monsters, even though I haven't seen it, because they were like hinting at it and doing a little bit too much in the first one, you know. So yeah, I'm excited. This is a movie that I wish I could see in the theaters. So if Cinemark does allow us to go see this, I will. This is where I'd want to see it.
It'd be kind of cool.
Just because the scale. I mean, how do you watch?
I'm definitely gonna be at that one. I don't care if my fucking grandma's dying. I'll resuscitate her, bring her to the movie theater. We'll watch it together, and then we'll say our goodbyes, because I am not two movies that I am not missing in the theater if it is allowed. We already know what the other one is, but Godzilla versus Kong definitely is one of those where if it's not seen on the big screen, it kind of doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's a big screen movie. It's
exactly
too big.
That's why, and that's why I went back to the mindless. Just we don't care if it's mindless blockbuster fun. Especially right now when we're all hurting.
Yeah.
We need mindless fun right now. We really do, because we're all hurting and we need it. Across the globe, we all need it.
Yeah, and the other point of why I'm excited for this is I like that it's the same Godzilla from the first one that they did, and then it's the same Kong from Skull Island Kong, because I did like that movie. It had a couple moments where it was like I really enjoyed it, and then you know, it was okay, and it was just fun to watch. I didn't really care. So I like that they're at least doing that. You know, they're doing their whole like monster universe kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Monsterverse officially. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. So I think we've talked enough about Godzilla versus Kong.
So guys, no wait. If Dune comes out on the movie theaters, I may have to fly up to Reno to watch it with y'all. So.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
So I'm just saying it it could happen.
That is the way.
I'm throwing it into the universe right now.
Do you guys have Cinemark over there?
Yeah.
But they're not open?
They have one Cinemark in Arizona.
Wow.
So and they showed nothing
You
but
might as
Filipino
well
movies.
be flying out if that's the case.
No, they showed nothing but Filipino movies. So
like I said,
I double check on the website. I'm sure they're showing.
well, I mean, they show other things too, but like mostly is Filipino movies, like the ones that are coming out in the Philippines and shit.
Oh yeah, they did that. Yeah, pre-pandemic, they were showing Filipino movies, and we'd watch at least one.
I swear to God, like all the Filipinos in the valley or in the Phoenix Valley, they all come and they come in droves to watch these shows and stuff. And like Cinemark makes a ton of money just because of the fact that, like, one, Filipinos love movies, two, they love their snacks, so they're willing to pay whatever.
And three, they love their Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's true.
Are they
too.
paying for their snacks, or are they just opening their big ass?
Oh no! Like, they pay.
They pay
for their snacks.
And their
they
spoons.
Pay for the snacks. They pay for snacks.
And busting out the adobo and the toyo and the everything.
Yeah, see, their hustle is better than ours. Like, they got finesse and that whole family. Like, yeah.
Hey, somebody
you
get the lumpia.
You want to have a feast while you're watching the movie? We snuck it in.
Right, yeah, somebody get the lumpia.
All we got is pocket Skittles. That's all we got.
I know, and Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
We got meals, man.
So we want to say hi to everyone on Instagram. We are live on Instagram.
Oh,
hi, Instagram people.
So yeah, we're moving on to the next topic. Since we are talking about movies and the big screen, there are some movies that have been delayed.
Again,
I think we mentioned it last episode, The Kingsman, and then Ghostbusters Afterlife is supposed to be released in the summer, has now been moved to November, I think, or October. I think it was November. And then, of course, the big one that's supposed to be coming up, aside from Godzilla versus Kong, is the next big Marvel movie that should have been, but of course,
Black Widow.
Got delayed.
This again.
The talk is Black Widow is expected to be delayed again. 2020 delays, multiple parts of the United States, of course, still struggling with the coronavirus pandemic, though they are saying on the news that numbers are dropping, but then that doesn't mean that, again, we've said it before, that doesn't mean that people will just be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go march to the movie.
Yeah, let's go. The ants go marching in. That's not gonna it's not happening.
And that's, of course, a lot of movie theaters in the larger markets like LA and New York are still closed. So, but then again, when you're looking at what they did with Mulan on Disney Plus and Raya and the Last Dragon, which is coming out in March, that will also be available for the premiere or premium access. I think it's Premier Access for $29.99. They could just do that with Black Widow and then release it wherever theaters are open, so that because again, if they keep delaying this, and we're getting
they'll delay everything
right
else
now. If the Marvel universe, and we know the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the WandaVision are interconnected, then we have to have seen, like, we have to see everything. They have that release lined up. So
exactly.
You know,
you risk nobody giving a shit.
Right.
All this is for nothing. Like, okay, we did WandaVision and we're setting that's what I was talking about in the previous episode. We don't know where this is going because you can set all this up. Well, we're going to delay it again. No, I know. I get it. It's a bad word. It's the dirty fart in the stuck elevator where no one wants to admit they did it. But you have to follow suit with Warner Brothers HBO Max. You're going to have to do it because best case scenario, vaccines go across the country and the virus is dead and gone. Oh, hooray! We're all gonna go to the movies. you're still going to have a huge chunk of people that are going, yeah, I'm vaccinated, but I don't want to sit next to you fucks. I'm scared.
I'm gonna go to the beach.
Just because you tell me it worked doesn't mean anything to me, because that I need the proof. So we're not going to this theater. I'm not like Mike said, we're not gonna risk it. So then you have the problem of, why is my movie not hitting the box office numbers? Do you really have to ask that stupid question? Because at this point, it is a stupid question when you're asking that. So then we have to go, oh, you're doing what they did with Netflix. Oh, maybe HBO Max and Warner Brothers had something going there. Maybe we shouldn't have talked shit. Maybe we should have actually come together as an industry and really tried to do the best we could for the people that are hurting right now. But no, you're not going to do that because it's about your egos. And that's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem.
Then, of course, you're adding to the mix the second more contagious strain. While I did mention you're saying the numbers are coming down, there is that second strain from the UK that originated that is now supposedly in 21 states. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm surprised it's not here yet, because California, it's already there. It's supposedly way more contagious. So, you know, who knows how that'll also mix things up. And then another thing also, of course, we want to mention our favorite buddy, Tom Cruise. His movie, Top Gun, was offered. They offered, so Netflix, Paramount reportedly passed on offers from Netflix and Apple to send the film directly to streaming. So Apple and Netflix offered to buy Top Gun Maverick, but Paramount said, nope, we're not doing that. It says here, so the movie is currently set to arrive, and it was supposed to release last year, of course, 2020, but they rescheduled it to July 2nd of this year. So right in time for that 4th of July weekend. It says here, let's see. There are a lot of positives for Paramount's decision to keep the film on its date. But of course, the one big negative is COVID-19. Pandemic is still a major issue, with a second wave of the virus sweeping through the world. And then, they offered to buy it, but Paramount is sticking to their top guns. And they're just like, nope. We're releasing.
You had to.
Huh?
But the fact of the matter is, I don't get this. I don't understand why everybody's getting on board. Sports, wrestling, for crying out loud, who is 30 years in the past, they're getting on board. The UFC, everybody's getting on board with adapting. But Hollywood, they want to fight this. They want to fight. I don't get the movie industry. Not to mask all Hollywood, the movie industry particularly, they're fighting this. Are you not understand? This is just simple arithmetic here now. Screw the art and all this is basic arithmetic. Do you want to survive as a business? That's the question. And from what your answer is from your actions so far, it's no, not really, because we won't let the past go. I get it. And I've said this multiple times but it has to be restated because these guys don't get it. Mm-hmm. We all love going to the theater and we don't want to see it die. Yes, we agree to that. But in the climate we are in right now, we have to adapt and evolve or risk perishing and being sent into oblivion. If that's your wish, keep doing what you're doing, Hollywood movie industry specifically. Keep doing what you're doing, and you will die like Blockbuster Video did. Don't let that happen. We can stop the film and movie theater industry we can stop it. If we adapt to these rules, we can stop it. But if you keep doing what you're doing, you can go in the same bracket as Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, all those startup internet companies that happened in the early 2000s that kicked the bucket, and now all you hear about is Facebook and Instagram. Keep doing that. You'll be in the relic area. Keep doing it.
I really don't care about Black Widow anymore.
No one does.
If they put it on DVD or if they release it on just strictly on Disney Plus, then I'll watch it. I don't care for watching it anymore on the movie theaters. It's done. Like we talked about it last week as well, and weeks before. They should have done Black Widow when Black Widow was a hot item. Like after the Avengers maybe, like phase 2 or phase 4, or after Endgame. So they should have done all of these things instead of like waiting until the last fucking minute. So
the moment Bradley Cooper grabbed her tits in that one romantic comedy, that's when they should have struck on Black Widow solo movie, because at that point she was in, everything was happening. Like she was, there she is. Why is she in this romantic comedy?
They should have released it when right after Lost in Translation.
Was this the one based in Hawaii? Like Aloha, is that the name, or like something?
No, that was Emma Stone.
Earlier.
That was Emma Stone.
That was Emma Stone. What movie is this?
And the movie I'm talking about is like,
it was like a romantic comedy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. If I'm not mistaken, Jennifer Connelly was.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly was there.
Yeah, and he was like, he was trying to screw her in the office, and she's like, hey. But the point, I'm not trying to make this like, I know Kuya likes that. I'm not trying to put that boat in that. I think it's like I can't remember the romantic comedy. It is a romantic comedy. I'm not making this up, people. I'm just fucked up in the head.
It was like an ensemble, like the person.
Yeah, it was a huge ensemble.
So you're telling me
everyone who was anyone.
So you're telling me Rocket Raccoon grabbed Black Widow's titties?
Yeah,
correct. And she
in a nice red bra, like, trust me, I'm not making this up, Kuya, right?
Yep, and she was swimming in the pool naked, if I'm not mistaken.
Like someone, please,
somewhat naked.
The viewers and listeners are gonna hate this. You fucking idiots! It's this.
Go IMDb it. It's
yes,
in
there. We mentioned titties. Check on Justin. He's okay.
So
just put Bradley Cooper and Scarlett Johansson.
And that's why I didn't want to say it, but we're steering it in that. I didn't want to point it in that direction, but the point I'm trying to make is, at that moment in that year, the iron was hot with Scarlett Johansson. That's why she was in that romantic comedy with that ensemble cast. That was everybody who was anybody at the time was in that.
She was getting all the jobs.
I think it's like I'm not even going to try. I think it's like, it was based on a book. It's another one of that Notebook fucking Love Actually shit. Like, it's based on a book. And it was during that time when those movies.
The name is He's Just Not That Into.
He's Just Not That Into.
Oh, that one. Oh,
yeah,
that's the movie during that time.
2009.
Where Black Widow was Phoenix X-Men hot, like just blowing shit up.
Yeah, they should have done it like after Iron Man 2 then, because
exactly. But that was in that like, and we've gotten this long on it, and that's why I didn't. But that's where you should have struck, because people wanted her in more ways than one. People wanted her for the movies, for any. If you paid her the right money at the time, she would have been in your sitcom. If you played your cards right at that time, because she was a hot commodity.
Yep.
Now we're like, yeah, Scarlett Johansson. She's a well-known actress. We know who she is.
She's the girl that culturally appropriated Ghost in the Shell, right?
That's a debate for another episode. But that's the girl that took a leap off the cliff, right?
Yeah.
Who cares? Once again, and I hammer on this, and I know I'll probably have another listener who'll do a video call about it, but I'll harp on this again. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference whatsoever. Okay. You had a hot commodity. You didn't use it. The boat sailed, and now you're jumping in the water and trying to catch up with the boat. That makes no sense to me. So just put it on you. You are one of the most watched streaming platforms right now, correct? Next to Netflix. Why in the hell would you not, even if you did the paywall, fine. Why would you not put it on your streaming service? This is the same issue I have with the upcoming Clarice show that's coming on CBS. That should have been on CBS All Access. Another controversial opinion I've had, especially with my sports nuts, the Super Bowl should have been exclusive for CBS All Access. Do you understand what revenue you are bringing in here? But no, you're not going to do that because, like I said, you're stuck to the archaic rules of we're going to do it in theater. Well, kiss good revenue goodbye. That's all I'm saying. Kiss good revenue goodbye. Money, what you guys are in it for. That's all you're about. You're flushing it down the toilet because of tradition. I have a tradition and I won't back down from it. Fine, Bane. Well, look what happened to Bane. Eventually, he got his ass kicked too because Batman came back and whooped that ass. He had a little bit of help, yeah. Well, but keep doing it. Keep that stance of I won't do it because that's a baby's mentality. That's not an adult's mentality. That's a baby's mentality. I'll stand here and I won't move. And if you try and move me, I'll throw a fit. That's a baby's mentality.
You
grow
came
up.
to your city to die.
Exactly. Like, grow up.
Oh, man.
None of you are Bane.
All righty. So moving on to some Marvel news. Possible potential spoilers here for WandaVision. So this is from comicbookmovie.com. Evan Peters seemingly confirmed for Disney Plus series by his Spanish voice dub actor. So it's been rumored for some time now that WandaVision will feature Dark Phoenix star Evan Peters, and the actor's involvement in the series has seemingly been confirmed by his Spanish voiceover actor. So the content of the post roughly translates to the actor mentioning the premiere of WandaVision on Friday before noting that this is the first series where he will have the privilege, quote unquote, of once again voicing Pietro. In other words, it does appear the Dark Phoenix star will reprise the role of Quicksilver in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Good.
This is a massive leak, but what does it mean for the zany show? A sitcom trope is actors being recast without their change of appearance ever being mentioned. So perhaps this Pietro showing up will be a
I was about ready to say, how does that work?
to that of the Fox X-Men franchise. And then they do mention the leaked Funko listing teasing plans for a Vision and Quicksilver 2-pack. And it might be fun for Wanda to welcome her brother back before realizing he's not the Pietro she lost. But hey, it's, Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness. So Disney's bought the Fox property and all the Fox movies and all those X-Men movies. They got to make some money out of it. And they're like, what are we doing with all this property and not making money out of it? Let's bring in some of those X-Men characters.
No, I'm interested to see what Jester's opinion is, because that you made a little face right there, like
bringing in Petro, whatever his name is.
Pietro.
Pietro.
The overall aspect of it, but yeah, that mostly.
I mean, I think it's good because just the way he went out in Ultron was just horrible. It was stupid. But I mean, I don't know. I like Quicksilver, but it's hard because after the comparison with the new Marvel movies with that Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, yeah, it's like, man, how do I want that guy. I don't want the one from Ultron, So
I want Fox's Quicksilver.
Yeah, so I hope that they, with bringing this back, that they might they might do a little bit of that since they're trying to dive into this new mutant territory, hopefully, with the show. I don't know.
He's probably gonna be a Force ghost, right? This guy.
I mean, that'd be dumb. But I mean, I don't know. I could see. I don't know. Could you see her bringing him back with her powers or no?
No.
No. Okay.
What's gonna happen is like he's gonna show up as like somebody that would just like help her realize that the reality that she's doing is the wrong one or the right one or whatever. So that's probably what's gonna happen. Like they said, it's just gonna be the voice, right? It's not gonna be like the character itself, Mike. Are they gonna show like the Pietro itself or himself?
That's what they're hinting at.
Well, shit.
Okay. I was gonna say they're gonna have to like somehow, some way.
It's probably gonna be like some sort of ghost or some sort of like like in the TV show, some sort of new neighbor or some bullshit like that.
I don't know.
And then he's gonna, they're gonna be like, "Hey, you look familiar. Like, who the fuck are you?" "Oh, my name is Peter."
I don't know. I see them bringing him back. I do because I don't know. I just do. They have something now with the success of the X-Men movies of his character. I could see them trying to do some of the same stuff.
You think he got brought back when the snap happened?
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Because. I mean, I think it's possible. Who knows?
Wait, we're talking about Quicksilver from X-Men, not Age of Ultron, coming back.
Evan Peters. That's
not Quicksilver of Age of Ultron.
But no.
I thought Evan Peters was the fucking guy.
Hold on. My initial question to Jester was, and maybe I didn't word this properly. My initial question to Jester was, how does he feel about that transition from? Because we have to address it. You're talking about going from Age of Ultron to Evan Peters, like.
What's the name of that dude?
It's the same issue that people had with Metal Gear 4 to Metal Gear 5. Yep. Like, okay, we had this legacy of this, but even without the legacy, we had this great story we just told, and then Kiefer Sutherland's and it's like, you have to address it, and they did, and that was a lot of reason why people kicked Metal Gear 5 before it even got out the door.
Okay, so for clarification, Quicksilver in Age of Ultron was played by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay.
Exactly.
What I'm talking about is
Evan Peters is the other guy.
Evan Peters is the better Quicksilver,
the Fox.
who didn't die in one fucking movie. And
The one that's actually fast.
Well, is actually fast and can dodge bullets and all that cool shit. Who had a memorable scene in that X-Men movie, and then they did it again when he saves everyone in the X Mansion. So they're talking about him, Evan Peters.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the issue that we have.
Hold on, and so we can really clarify this. Correct. That's why I brought up the question of this, because we are now talking about Evan Peters entering the MCU. Correct. Correct.
Yep.
That wasn't the case when he was Quicksilver. So my question to Jester was how he felt about not only the overall aspect of this, but the change of going from that Quicksilver who was in the MCU, still technically, and we're going from this Quicksilver who technically wasn't in the MCU. Okay. It has to be addressed because it's an elephant in the room.
Yeah, no. So I will finish my thought. With the multiverse, it makes sense. Okay. If they just did it willy-nilly.
Okay, that I didn't think about. Sorry, but I didn't think about.
Yeah, so with the multiverse, it can happen. They could do it right. They could also screw it up, but they could do it right with the multiverse. And it would be good character stuff for Wanda and all that. So I could see it working its way out easily.
Okay, I mean that's a little bit of a cop out, not on your
it is
not on your end, because I can see Marvel doing that.
Right.
But okay, yeah.
But that's their way of
that aspect.
Yeah, but that's their way of like uniting fans in a way. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like
That's
we
true.
know you guys like these X-Men movies. We're bringing mutants over here now, so let's take a big hit and put them over here because Wolverine ain't coming back. So let's put
You
him
never
here.
know, man.
And I just want to put one thing out there that will solve this problem, and Jester will definitely agree with this. If you get the right director, this will work out really well, writer and director, and I'm putting this one out right now. Neil Breen should be the writer and director of the first X-Men movie in the MCU.
Oh my gosh.
Right there. Right
Dude,
there.
nobody
Don't know. Hold on. Those of you who don't know, do yourself a favor and get a treat on this day. Pinhead and Jester are giving you a recommendation. Google Neil Breen. And you will be in for a great treat. I promise. If you're not in for a treat, I'll quit the show.
That's some next level comedy right there.
So Neil Breen for the first MCU X-Men movie. That's what I'm going with. That will solve all of the fanboy problems.
Honestly, I think that it'd be really cool if they brought Quicksilver back in the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange movie. I think that'd be a good way to do it, somewhere in there. But I don't know, because we have to finish WandaVision first.
And that's why I'm glad I asked you that question, because I'll 100% admit, I did not even think of that factor of the multiverse, like at all. So kudos to you, Jester, because you're right. That's the most interesting way. Otherwise it's going to be mediocre, and we're going to be like, yeah, we just paid him enough. That's all there is to it. Move on. Like, okay, we'll accept that, especially the Marvel lollipop lickers,
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's still going to be a plot hole, which you, once again, crushed Wonder Woman 84 with your boot, but you let Marvel get away with it. So
we'll see what happens in WandaVision when he shows up.
We will.
There you go. All righty. Moving on. Next, we've got some Batman news.
Hell yeah.
So this is for the Batman animated series sequel, reportedly in the works for HBO Max. So this is from Kevin Smith's Fat Man Beyond podcast. His co-host Mark Bernardin, they were discussing, and then Mark Bernardin mentions the rumor is that HBO Max is looking at making a Batman animated series sequel, and that they want to continue that forward. And then as he was saying that, because you can actually watch the show as well on YouTube, when they record, they do a live feed, and then they upload that to YouTube. Kevin Smith was covering a huge smile on his face. And then Kevin Smith says, I don't know what you're talking about. Smith said with a twinkle in his eye, I'm not involved, but I too have heard this, and I've heard this from very reliable people. When I heard it, I freaked out, and I heard this, I would say a month before you just said it. I think that's real. I don't think that's a rumor. I wouldn't say set your watch to it, but it's an idea whose time is not only coming. I think it came, and it's smoking a cigarette. I think that's going to happen. How fucking amazing would that be? Because you can just literally pick up and keep going. It's not like, we got to explain why everyone's older. It's animation. It's fucking animation. So you can go right back to those amazing fucking stories. He continued, that to me is a no-brainer. You've got HBO Max. You're already doing that amazing Harley Quinn show. You're printing money if you go back and do Batman the Animated Series. You can't fuck up the legacy, that's for damn sure. You can't fuck it up. There's no reason not to do it as long as you've got the key creative components, as long as Bruce Timm is involved and he wants to be there, fucking go for it, for heaven's sakes. And then, of course, he mentioned that he's not involved with that show because he is heavily involved with the Netflix He-Man animated series that he's been working on. And that should be debuting this year. No release date yet on that one.
Exactly.
But that's going to be debuting this year. And that's got an all-star cast. We got Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
That's awesome.
You've got what's her face from Game of Thrones, Lena
Oh, I know
Headey.
her.
I'm sorry, but what's her face from? I love it.
she's great.
Lena Headey
For sure.
is my goodness. I need to get the. Hold on, I'm getting the
sorceress.
I'm getting the list.
Hey, you bubs.
I
Yeah.
mean, she can't be Tila, but
Maybe she's what's Ortho.
I'm assuming the
whatever
sorceress,
his
right?
name is.
The sorceress.
Hold on. So we've
Or
got
Evelyn.
I think she's Evelyn. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. When they announced the cast, early last year. So this was February 14. Oh, on Valentine's Day of last year of 2020. This was way before we started podcasting, of course. So here's the cast list. Goodness gracious, just give me a list. Just give me a whole article. I don't want to have to read through the whole article. Hollywood Reporter. Goodness gracious.
Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, so here got more or less the list. Okay, so Mark Hamill as Skeletor, Lena Headey as Evelyn, Chris Wood as Prince Adam, aka He-Man, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila, Liam Cunningham as Man-at-Arms, Stephen Root as Cringer, Diedrich Bader as King Randor and Trapjaw, Griffin Newman as Orko, Tiffany Smith as Andra, Henry Rollins as Triclops, Alan Oppenheimer as Mossman, Susan Eisenberg as Sorceress, Alicia Silverstone as Queen Marlena, Justin Long as Roboto, Jason Mewes as Stinkor, Phil Lamar Hero, Tony Todd as Scareglow, Cree Summer as Priestess, Kevin Michael Richardson as Beastman, Kevin Conroy, aka Batman from the animated series, as Merman, Harley Quinn, his daughter, as Elena, and that's all we have so far from that cast.
And that's official.
That's official. That's official.
Okay, so, that's excluding a few duds. That's that's not a bad cast because we got just the right amount of well-knowns and unknowns in there that will be like might be their breakout role. So Candyman being in there, my boy Tony Todd. For you horror fans, that's got to be a red alert right there. And for horror fans, a red alert is a real good thing. So we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows what, like, I want to know that this is official. I don't want to know that we're talking about the Batman, correct?
Yep.
So this is where I have the problem. I get it. He's in the know, but I don't want to hear from, Cousin Eddie heard from Michelle that her little girl Tiffany heard that Billy's fucking the prom queen. Like, I don't care. I want an official, we're greenlit, this is happening, it's official. Then I can be happy about it. Number two, I get the money aspect. He is 125% correct that the money aspect, it is printing money. And we're talking about gobs of money for HBO Max if they were to do this. Correct. However, if we were to do the more interesting thing, I would much, because unlike this series, the animated series had its run and it got its chance. I'd much rather see a revival of Batman Beyond and continue the story we didn't get to finish technically.
Yep.
Everybody's like, oh, Buffy didn't get to... Fuck Buffy.
Fuck Joss Whedon.
Exactly. I want the Batman Beyond continuation. Not in a movie. I know. I get it. I want it in this same style, the cartoon form. I want everybody brought back too. But the smart money is to go with the animated series. All I'm saying is I want a confirmation. not hearsay by, I did it on the grassy knoll, and I know that,
it's
come
Kevin
on.
Smith hearing from someone within.
I know,
I
I
it's just a
get
matter
it,
of time.
I'm not, and to clarify, you're correct. And Kevin Smith is a very, very reliable source. He's not a bullshit artist. All I'm saying is, I want the green light. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's just a matter of time until we get an official announcement, because
exactly, that's what I'm waiting for. And then when that happens, I'll be one of the first to go through the roof, because I grew up with it. I love the animated series, and I would love it to come back.
Right. So for those who aren't aware,
I want confirmation.
So for those who aren't aware, the Batman animated series and Batman Beyond has been included in HBO Max for streaming.
Yep.
That's available there.
Yeah, boy.
Technically, the Batman Beyond series is the sequel to that original animated series when you look at it that way. But yeah, the smart way is to go back to the original animated series. And then I think what's going to happen is that does well. Then they can continue the story of Batman Beyond and end it or finish it. But right now, also in DC Comics last year, they released a Batman animated series comic book, which continued the story. So in the comics, we were introduced to, and they even made action figures of these characters. So we got Deathstroke, we got a new version of Batman in his armor, and all in the animated, that Bruce Timm animated style. And the story was really good and really popular. I still have to check it out. But
that we're on the subject right before we move on. For those who are gonna come at me with the baseball bats, I know there was a great, amazing Batman Beyond continuation comic book series. I'm not talking about that. So just for clarification, because people are like, well, but James, Pinhead, there was a continuation of the Batman Beyond series, and it happened in the comic book form, and I get it. I'm talking about the continuation of the animated series, not the comic book. So let's move on.
Yeah, I love that voice. It's printed on paper in full color. But yeah, really, there's something in that original format, like in the show, like you said, the animated series, I grew up with it as well. And to see that style, especially now, like, and how much, I mean, that show still looks great for what they, and how they made it. I remember watching a behind the scenes documentary about it. And instead of traditionally drawing on white paper, they would actually start with black paper, or like with black a black canvas to actually build, and then from there they do the buildings and everything. Since it was very that the theme was very inspired in that particular style, and it also led, of course, to getting that Superman animated series. And then I didn't like the style when they changed to the New Adventures of Batman, because they changed the look.
That was kind of shitty.
Yeah, I don't like it as much as the original. And then, of course, you have the Mask of the Phantasm, which is still one of the great.
Brilliant film. Just a brilliant film.
Yeah, and then for Kuya, there's no word if Batman's gonna kill anyone in this animated series.
Hey,
I don't think they ever.
He killed Clayface. I'm just saying.
He didn't kill Clayface.
He killed Clayface.
He crumbled.
He fucking killed Clayface,
he didn't
man.
kill him. He was trying to save him.
Yeah, but then he fucking let go.
He didn't let go. Clayface wasn't strong enough.
Wait. So you're blaming Clayface's death? Like, it's a suicide. Get the fuck out of here, dude. He wanted to live. He wanted to live because he wanted to be back with the girl.
And then he's gonna come back in this series, and he's gonna be like, Batman didn't kill me. I killed myself. I'm the new.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay.
So speaking of Batman, the new Batwoman, new season.
Woo! Here we go.
Which feels like a brand new, like a reboot, basically.
It sure as hell does.
It feels like a reboot. So spoilers. So I did mention I barely watched that first episode with Ruby Rose, and I was just like, this is sort of shit. I can't finish it. So and I never looked back. I was like, why is she training in the Arctic? Why is she holding her breath? Okay. And this has to do with what? Okay. Like it just, and then not having Bruce Wayne, like this whole bullshit of, oh, he's missing, he's gone. And then when that show ended, I just wanted to see like how it ended to see where it's gonna pick up, right? And so they explain like and how they bring back Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne comes back at the end of season 1. Spoilers, but it's not really Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, does he really?
Tommy Elliott, his childhood friend of sorts, comes.
Hey, it's Hush.
Yeah, it's Hush, which is a great comic book story by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. That's one of my favorite Batman stories. So check that one out if you can, if you haven't. But yeah, so that's how this.
If they made that as a fucking movie, like a standalone movie, the story for Hush, it'll make $1 billion. Guaranteed.
So how close to the comic book story was the animated movie? Was it close at all?
It's pretty close.
So my question is, should I check the comic book out?
Oh yeah, I would check that out first.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more.
So they leave a lot of stuff out that is not in.
There's a lot more stuff that's left out. So
not to veer the subject, but I'm just wanted to know for my own personal, because that and Death in the Family are the 2 Batman story arcs, or in Court of Owls. But I'm already on that the 3 that people are recommending, like the must Batman storylines.
Right. Yeah, it's. I think
Nightfall was pretty good.
Still totally related.
I already read that, so I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that season 1, that finale, it ends on the villain. I guess she's a sister of Kate Kane, or half sister of some sort.
Yeah, half sister.
And she hates Batwoman. So I didn't get much of it, but that's just from based on what I'm getting. And somebody who's probably watched the whole season listening to this would be like, "You fucking idiot, watch it." And I'm like,
well, no, you're not. That person, no offense to your opinion, would be kind of wrong, because Cliff Note version, the reason why she doesn't like Batwoman is, for the most part, they didn't pay attention to me like they did her.
Oh God.
So and I know there's that. Well, actually, James, that's incorrect, because there's subtext and plot in the season that you didn't watch because you didn't sit through the 23. I get it. It's a crybaby reason why she's the villain. So that's why we'll get into the Ruby Rose aspect, but that's a big reason why people didn't like it, is because one of the main villains of the season was a crybaby.
Oh, you mean like
just an absolute crybaby?
You mean like almost every villain from the MCU that hates Tony Stark because they
didn't exactly. Exactly. But DC should know better, because they're higher quality. Oh, sorry. But they should know better. And this is and shows like this show the reason why. Now we'll talk about the season 2 premiere, but before we get into that, because they kind of do bounce back, I will give them that. But as far as a first impression with the first season, DC should know better than this. This is the kind of shit that shows why people hate not only DC, but they hate the CW DC. So, but we'll get in. They bounce back. There's good news, folks. They do kind of bounce back with season 2, in my opinion.
Right. We've got I don't know if it's Javicia or Javika. Leslie.
I think it's Javicia from the way Kimmel pronounced it. So it's Javicia Leslie.
Yeah. Javicia, yeah.
So, and she didn't correct him, so I'm assuming it's Javicia.
Yeah. So she steps in into the cowl of Batwoman. And so I didn't get to finish the episode yet, but from what I've seen, I saw like 30 minutes of it. I just watched it on the CW app. It's free. From what I saw, I was really impressed with her. Way better than Ruby Kate Kane.
No doubt, way better. Like, I watched this episode twice.
Oh wow, look at you.
So, well, I kind of got a little crush on her because she is a very, very beautiful woman. But not to
wait. Are you talking about Ruby Rose or?
No, I'm talking about Javicia, you idiot.
Okay. Because Ruby Rose is a little mannish.
No, I'm talking about we're now into season 2.
Okay.
I'm talking about Javicia. Like, she's a very attractive woman, which is good. So we're off to a great start. And I don't like to debase her like that, which I'll redeem myself, but we have to get that out there right off the bat because in every way, Ruby Rose is ugly. And I'm not just talking about her look. She is a nasty. I went way, way beyond my 3-episode arc with Batwoman in the first season. I watched 13 episodes of it.
Wow.
It hurt. That was enough for me to determine that she is a selfish, unlikable, rotten, petulant little child.
Wow.
She is nasty. And this is the woman that's taking up the Bat mantle. So right off the bat, we're already doing good work with Javicia as Ryan Wilder because you feel for the reason why she took up the fucking suit in the first place when she found it, which we already said, spoiler alert, this show, and I'm calling it right now, it's going to go throughout the entire season. This show is going to leave the door wide open for Ruby Rose to return because the reason why she's gone, she's dead, wink, wink, but she's not, it could be, who knows? We'll find out as we go down the season 2. That will be so, just in case Ruby wants to retract that, I quit because she'll come back and go, move over, bitch, and let me get back on my suit. So I hope that day doesn't come because that's a big reason why Batwoman season 2 is having a hard time battling with the ratings because the ratings were already at rock bottom thanks to Ruby Rose and company. Yes, I agree. It's not all Ruby Rose's fault.
It's
writers,
mostly
directors, everyone that is involved in it should be ashamed of themselves. However, Ruby Rose is at fault for being regarded as a block of wood. When you act like a plank, no one cares about it doesn't matter how great the writing is. You could have got the Coen brothers to write Batwoman. If you have an actress who is like as charismatic as a paper cup, then it's not going to matter, and the ratings will tank. So we're just not going into this long tirade. She is a breath of fresh air, not just on the looks department, but she's a likable. You care about her character because the motivation behind when she found the bat suit, why she took it up, I understand why she would want revenge.
Yeah, it's well done.
It's got Punisher. It's got kind of Punisher. I won't say it's full blown, but it's got that little vibe of like, I'm doing this for. Yeah, it is a selfish reason, but it's still a noble selfish reason, if that makes sense. So she's already like 10 times likable. Like I said, more likable, like not just because of her looks. Like she's not a hateful, nasty, rotten human being like Kate Kane was. Kate Kane is a nasty, just disgusting human being who should have never got the chance to be anywhere near the Batman mantle. I would have rather seen Ra's al Ghul take up the mantle. He's more worthy as far as morals are concerned than Kate Kane is. The Joker has better morals than Kate Kane because at least with the Joker, you're like, hey, this guy's a nut. We get it. with her, she's supposed to have this, I'm a moral human being who's taking up this for standards. And like, no, you're not. You're doing it for selfish, garbage reasons. And you affect everybody that's involved. People get hurt. People legitimately get hurt by your blowback. This girl, this young woman, Ryan Wilder, Javisa Leslie, she's actually taking up the mantle, and you can go, you know what? Hell yeah, I can see why she's putting on that and why she wants to whoop some ass. So right off the bat, she's already more likable, and that's I'll end my rant there. I can't say enough good things about her because she's really she's coming out the gate with, it's hard for her. No one cares about Batwoman because of the first season. No one cares.
Right. That live action version of Batwoman, what they did in the animated films, they actually, I like that Batwoman. They did a decent job of that one there. So yeah, I still have to finish the episode, and I guess it airs every Sunday. So we're getting the second episode tonight. Yeah.
I would say definitely check it out, finish it, and then you can decide for yourself, because there are some moments where you go, okay, like the music, like I was telling you, I don't know if it's a new group, so I'm not going on record, but I don't know if it's a new group or if it's the same person with restraints taken off, but the music is leaps just within this episode alone is just phenomenal. Way better than last year.
Right.
So
yeah, and then I also want to mention I checked out Batman Death in the Family on it's also on HBO Max. So I watched that, and it's mostly a recap of the first one we got, but they just added like Bruce talking to someone about the whole story, which it turns out he's talking to Clark Kent about it. Then it basically on HBO Max, the digital version, you're not getting that interactive, like, oh, choose your own adventure style. That's only available on the physical media. So I still want to check it out on Blu-ray eventually. I'm going to have to wait for a good sale on it so I can check out watching the movie and then choosing like what happens next. But I did see, so after that they have DC Showcase short animated films. And then the first one right after Death in the Family is Sergeant Rock. And I was really impressed with that short film because it's Sergeant Rock is voiced by Carl Urban. And I had no idea who Sergeant Rock was, but they set the story. It's like a 10 or 15 minute short. It's basically in Nazi Germany. Americans are fighting Nazis.
World War II.
Yeah, in World War II. And then Sergeant Rock has a platoon or his team, and his whole team pretty much gets wiped out. He wakes up in the infirmary, and then he gets assigned a new mission. And then on his new mission, they're like out in the forest, they're attacking this Nazi encampment or this like small group of Nazi soldiers. And Sergeant Rock is there. And then you don't find out who his team is until they come out of the shadows. And it's basically Frankenstein, Wolfman, and Dracula. And I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. And then I'm not going to talk about too much because I want people to check it out. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
In what they do.
Thank you for that, Mike. It blows my mind. I've had this for months. Thank you for telling me about that, because if you hadn't said anything, it would still be collecting dust and I wouldn't have ever seen it. So thank you for telling me.
Oh yeah,
about
no problem.
that.
Yeah, because it's got that horror aspect. I figured you didn't.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
Right, and then while I was watching it, Sergeant Rock is voiced by Carl Urban. Of course, we're seeing him right now on The Boys. I immediately thought like they could easily do a full-length live action film about Sergeant Rock. And
they tried.
They did?
Yeah, back in the day. But they kind of sort of wanted the wrong person as Sergeant Rock. They wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh wow.
Imagine Sergeant Rock with a fucking Austrian accent.
Into the chopper.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So now they can go back to the
Amazing.
drawing board and just look at this, and you could easily just have Carl Urban as Sergeant Rock, you know, in the live action version. And you could easily do a full, I mean, who wouldn't want to see, you know, this team of like monsters with this one soldier fighting and destroying Nazis?
Wait, so who's gonna play Frankenstein then?
Whoever can fit
The mountain from Game of Thrones.
There you go, the mountain, or the hound,
or the guy that played Frankenstein and I, Frankenstein. That would be cool.
That too, or Braun Strowman.
There you go.
That's a shout out to my wrestling peeps out there. Braun Strowman, definitely.
There you go. But yeah, there's no reason why they couldn't make a full length live action film about Sergeant Rock. I mean, the story, the short, you know, short film, animated film is awesome enough. Like, man, they could do so much more with it. Then
do it now while Carl's relatively young too, please.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, please.
And then the next one is Adam Strange, which I thought was really cool. I don't know a whole lot about Adam Strange. I know he's got a jetpack and he flies around. But then there's this Zeta beam, which like pretty much like shoots out, and then he has to get in that Zeta beam, or like he has no choice. It pretty much sucks him up, and then it transports him to another part of the galaxy. And he has no choice but to be there until that Zeta beam comes back and then retransports him to wherever he needs to go. So that's a pretty cool, it's got some horror. I mean, not horror, but like they're fighting aliens on this world where he gets trapped in this mining colony. So that was pretty cool as well. I love that story. Like, man, you could easily, again, another story that they could explore. Then the next one they had was Death. That one I didn't get to watch all of it yet. I need to check it out. But then the last one they had was The Phantom Stranger. And I thought that was really interesting.
Hell yeah.
That was really cool. So, and then that one has Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, aka Lex Luthor from Smallville. He plays a character in that as well, who he also voiced, of course, the Flash in the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited animated series, which supposedly, speaking of DC.
Wait, that's him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's him.
Holy shit. It didn't even sound like Lex Luthor at all. That's weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is way before Smallville. And then there's rumors they're also trying to get the Justice League show, or like the cast, to do a reunion movie of sorts. But there's word also that in March, right before we get the Zack Snyder Justice League cut, we will also see the Justice League animated series on HBO Max as well. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've got.
Which one? Is it Unlimited or is it the first one?
I think it's Unlimited as well. Correct.
The one with Hawk Girl, right? And Jon Stewart?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
yeah.
in there. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And then last thing I want to mention, I did watch part 2 of the Tiger Woods documentary, Tiger, on HBO Max. Yeah. It's amazing.
How's that?
It's amazing. It's great. It's absolutely great. I mentioned
I'm getting on that tonight, actually.
Yeah, I mentioned it to the guys a little bit, like the way they ended part 1, where they show
the side chick.
Yeah, pretty much. The way they start part 2 is not immediately jumping off of the way they ended part 1, but they really explain how, you know, how things happened and how things went down, and it's really fascinating. And the whole documentary shows basically the rise, the fall, and the return of Tiger Woods. So the story is pretty, I mean, regardless of what you think of the guy, it's still pretty amazing to see where he started, what he's been through, and where he's going at right now. So really fascinating stuff. Check it out. Parts 1 and 2 are now on HBO Max. So yeah, that's pretty much awesome. It for me. If you guys have anything else you want to share on what you're currently watching or reading.
Let's see, what did I finish? I finished 3rd season of Cobra Kai. Fantastic.
I do like that.
Amazing. I love what's happening there with all that. Great season finale too. And then
I think you and I might feel the same feelings of what's to come in season 4. So
yeah, I think so
and
too.
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it. It's just and it's not a spoiler because it happened in the trailer. We got very Karate Kid Part 2 vibes.
Correct. Yep.
I think we're gonna get Karate Kid Part 3 vibes in season 4. So
I think you're
that's
correct.
where I'll leave it without spoiling it.
Yeah.
So.
If those of you who haven't seen Cobra Kai, I'd recommend it because it's a really quick binge, but it's really good storytelling.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Fantastic stuff.
I'm on season 3 right now. So,
oh yeah.
Are we gonna get Jaden Smith?
Here's hoping.
Oh boy!
Honestly, at this point,
Karate in China.
Dude, they could bring in Jackie Chan.
The Kung Fu Kid.
They could bring in.
We're gonna get the Kung Fu Kid.
Karate in China.
Well, hey, Kuya, it's kind of not that egregious considering we got Taekwondo and Cobra Kai, so
that's kind of weird too. So
there is. I'm sorry because for those that don't know, I took karate for a long time as an adolescent, and I took Taekwondo. A lot of the moves they do in Cobra Kai, especially in season 3, are Taekwondo moves. Or like Jester mentioned, at very least, mixed martial arts. Yeah. We don't do what a lot of they're doing in karate. So why not the Kung Fu Kid showing up in a season 4 of Cobra Kai?
Oh, and then they use weapon-based martial arts too. Fuck it.
Yeah. So. But if we're going off the story, not to, I want to hear more of what Jester's getting into, but not to. Overall, Jester is 100% correct. It is a very high recommendation. It is very bingeable. It's easy.
Yeah.
It was easy when I was doing it when it was still on YouTube Red.
Yeah.
So, and that was paying for it. Now it's like, it's part of your Netflix subscription, which we all have. No one, even the bums drinking on the street, have a Netflix subscription somehow. So we can all watch Cobra Kai. There's no excuse. You will not regret it. Sorry, Jester. I just had
no, you're good.
Go off your it's a phenomenal series. It's how you take something that we're all nostalgic about, an IP, and do it the right way. Hint, certain products. Hint.
That's
I don't know. Who you out there.
So, no, yeah, you're right. So yeah, I finished. No, you don't. You're good. So I finished that, and then I started the final season of Vikings.
How is that?
You like it?
So
you like it?
I do.
You like it? You like it?
I like what happened in the first episode. No spoilers.
Hey, amen.
But so my thing was with that show, I highly recommend to watch Vikings because it's just a great story. But for me, I remember my interest started to dive down a little bit when
season 4 maybe
season 4 yeah. So at that point I just waited until the whole season was finished and then I would watch them all. But very good story, really interesting stuff because I know there's a lot of historical aspects to it that are true. But then there's obviously stuff that's not. But yeah, so I started that, and then I think that's it.
Where are you watching Vikings? Where can we watch that?
Yeah, so that's on Amazon Prime. No, well, is it on Hulu still?
Yeah, still on Hulu.
So the only thing is I know the final season of Vikings is an Amazon exclusive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
just watch it on Amazon to be.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. If you have Hulu, then watch all of it until you get to the final season. But and then I think The Expanse has like 2 episodes or 3 episodes left in the next couple weeks. So that's really good too. The 5th season of that is really.
Yeah, you got Sean into that.
I know. I can't believe that, man. I can't
either. Like it blows my mind. I love you, Sean, but that blows my mind that is the show where he breaks.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of blown away with that too. Like he actually started it, but hey, who knows? It is a really good show. It's really interesting.
Question real quick before we move on to the next person. How's that High Republic doing?
It's rough, dude. I don't even want to
I
like.
just-
I don't even want to finish it.
I just needed to know because, like, after your last ringing endorsement, shall we say, I was curious to see the follow up. So that's the only reason why I asked.
Yeah, no, I'm almost done, but like I don't even want to finish it. It's just so.
Why not? It's Star Wars.
It's so boring, though. I just don't want it anymore. Don't make
You're not
me
a real
listen to
fan.
it.
You're not
Don't
a
make
real
me
fan.
listen to it anymore.
Yeah, you're a
Look,
fake fan, man.
the lore stuff is really cool, but the story around is just lame.
Yoda not doing any cool shit.
All he is mentioned, dude.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
There
Like,
was a green guy.
well,
His name was
he's
Yoda.
not as strong as Master Yoda in this force ability.
He's
And then-
Oh,
700
that's the
years old.
worst.
I mean, that's what we're getting right now. So I don't know
Oh,
about
that's
the
the
next two books,
worst.
but like I have no idea about the next two books. But like after the way this one's going, I don't even want to spend my credit on on the audiobooks of those. So I don't know. But we'll
Well,
see.
maybe future Dune books aren't in your cards then, because they do a lot of that in the future Dune with
Well, I think I'm only gonna listen to
Apollo
that sequel.
Atreides would have.
Well, let's see that. I don't mind that aspect if the story is good. Like if I'm enjoying the story, then that's fine. Like I don't care. I don't need to see Yoda. But it's just like everything else around it's just so boring, dude. Like there's only one master and apprentice in that book that's like interesting. That their story together is interesting. But other than that, it's a grind. I don't like it. So I don't know. Anyway, who's up next?
I'll go. So hopefully, and I'm letting Mike know this in advance. Hopefully, he'll allow this. Next week, I'm hoping to do the stand review. I can't do it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I cannot fucking take it. 7 episodes is enough, because by the time we do the next podcast, I will have been 7 episodes in. I can't take it. I can't fucking take it. Enough's enough. So we're going to get into, I promise. I'll be a good boy. I'll be a real good boy, especially for our listeners out there. My number one fan, I'll be a good boy. I won't go on a rant, but we are going to address some things that have to be addressed because, yes, and I got over the nonlinear storytelling, as hard as it is. But we need to address a couple other things other than the nonlinear storytelling. Like there's a controversy going on right now. It'll probably be old by the time we get to the next episode. Well, it depends on what they do in episode 7, but the controversy right now is Ezra Miller's character, which is absolutely an insult to not only the Stephen King book, it's an insult to the original 1994, if I'm not mistaken, 94 original miniseries. It is garbage. But we'll get into it. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to have my review on the stand next week. We're finishing that up. Other than that, I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm reading more. I'm reading the Scarlet Gospels. I'm getting back into the Scarlet Gospels, by the way, for those that don't know, is the follow-up, the actual official canon follow-up to Hellraiser, written by Clive Barker himself. For a lot of Clive Barker movie fans, you will not like it because he completely runs Rorschach through the ideas of what Hellraiser is. It kind of hurts, but he is the creator. So if you want to see if you haven't read it already, if you want to see what his opinion on Hellraiser, the movies, read the book, read the Scarlet Gospels. Other than that, we're not doing anything. We're working on the stand and reading that book. And then, like I said prior, I think last week, I'm rereading Dune, the whole series, getting prepared for the movie. Because I love you, Denny. I think you're a fantastic, phenomenal director. But you're not going to get everything in there. There's no way. You guys have said it yourself. There's going to be two parts to this one book as far as films.
Really? 2 parts?
That's if it lives up to their hope and it makes the money. Spoiler alert, it's not going to. But however, that's the plan. 2 parts. The first book is going to be split into 2 movies. If they're still sticking with that timeline and that idea, it's going to be 2 parts. So I'm rereading especially the first 3 Dune books because they are very important. I know people will argue with me about it, but they are very important to what actually happens in Dune and vice versa. So that's all I'm doing. Enough of me. Kuya, what's on your agenda?
If you guys want like good Godzilla content, uh, Netflix has 3 animes about Godzilla. It's gonna see Godzilla 1, Godzilla 2, Godzilla 3. All of them are relatively short, like an hour each or something like that. But it shows like why the monster is the monster and why humans think a certain way about him, so or her. But yeah, I've been watching it, the first time I saw it was like a couple years ago, and I'm glad that it's still on Netflix. So if you
So
guys
it
wanna,
is good.
yeah, I like
Because
it.
I've been holding off on it because I've heard
I like it.
people not too kindly about it. So that's why I was holding off. But I'll take your word for it.
I like it. And again,
Especially after Along with the Gods, I'll probably watch.
you're probably like the first one, and the other 2 is gonna be garbage.
Yeah, it'll suck.
Yeah. No, but it's the animation is a little weird and different because it's like cell shaded, but like it's 3D type of thing. But it kind of fits what they're trying to do with the story. So yeah, it should be good. I think like people will like it. If they don't like it, then whatever, then that's fine too. Oh yeah,
I
that and
know it
then
ain't stepping to that original animated series in the 90s that got.
oh no.
Because that was say what you will about the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie. The animated series was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was a
fun.
perfect follow-up to that movie. And it like explained everything. It did everything Ronald Emmerich wanted to do and couldn't.
Yeah.
Fantastic series. So if it's even half as good as that one, I'm on board.
And also, I've been watching Lupin, like I mentioned last week. It's about a gentleman thief, a gentleman burglar, and I'm on I think I'm going to be watching part 4 already. So it shows basically the premise is that, again, he's not the real Lupin. He's like somebody that based his life, because growing up, he based his life on being Lupin. So like all of the little tricks and trades and all of the things that he does, like Master of Disguises and all of this stuff. It's very interesting to me because I like that kind of those kinds of shows
Where
and
is
movies.
that?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Lupin, Lupin. So yeah, it starts off a little draggy. I mean, because there's a lot of talking, but you'll like it. If the first episode doesn't hook you, stop watching it. That's basically it. Mike, you have anything?
No, that's pretty much it. But I did find out that Lupin series is also based on the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
but it's a little different. Again,
Right.
it's an homage to the books, the Arsène Lupin books,
right.
and then it's
Kind of
based
like
on
how
the old
Akira
anime.
is an homage to that manga.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like a tribute. You'll see a couple of things that's on there, so which is kind of cool. You're not gonna see a samurai, Mike, if that's what you,
So
or
there's no blood and gore in this.
no. This is more of like Sly Cooper in a sense.
Cool.
Oh,
I want to check it out.
So So just just like like how he gets into predicaments and how he escapes, and then they show how he did things like that. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I may have like weird tastes, but this after watching the first episode of Lupin, I was hooked. I was just like, oh, this is my kind of shit. I need to watch this. So
Cool.
Real quick before we wrap up, Mike, can I show you this? Can you see that?
Oh yeah, Bernie. Oh, I forgot to mention. Yeah, the Bernie's mittens meme has taken the world by storm.
Oh man.
And
did you
there's
see the one I sent you on the private chat about Michelle Obama?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That one was amazing. Like when I saw it, I was like,
a Jedi.
There you go, slay.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders, the guy who doesn't really care about memes, has become quite the viral meme sensation himself, appearing everywhere.
Yeah, really.
TVs and all these places. And local businesses are using that Bernie Sanders picture to promote their businesses. I mean, why not? Whatever gets people to their businesses, why not? I even added him. We went tubing a few weeks ago. Took the family tubing up at Soda Springs, and I put a family picture of us, and I put Lola Bernie right there in the back with us, and some people enjoyed it. It looks legit too because he's cold, and we were out in the snow, so it looks pretty legit. Yeah. I do want to mention.
So just cracks me up.
So in which one?
No, I'm just saying it just cracks me up that's what united us as a country.
Oh yeah, Bernie Sanders.
The meme.
No, and he says like all the proceeds for all the sweaters, T-shirts, and all of the stuff. He says he's gonna donate all that money to Meals on Wheels, I believe.
That's just for the sweater.
That's the charity.
That's just for the.
Or is it just for the sweater?
Yeah, which I did order one. So yeah, when I saw that.
By the way, that's pretty cool. Like
100% of the proceeds are going to Meals on Wheels for Vermont. So which is great.
That's great, man.
The lady that made those mittens for him, that makes those mittens, she has been bombarded and overwhelmed with requests for like.
I bet she has.
I'm not a factory. I'm just like a small business.
I'm one person that's knitting this shit.
Yeah, but good for her though, man.
Oh yeah, and even
that's
Bernie
awesome.
Sanders. Even Bernie Sanders mentioned like it goes to show that we have great mittens from Vermont. Like, that was cool.
Yeah.
And he was just, to his credit, he was just like, I was just cold. He was just sitting there, but he was holding like a manila envelope. He looked like he had places to go, but he was just there like chilling, like.
that poor lady knows what it feels like when the song 8675309 came out.
Man.
That was a huge hit, and everybody started calling that number. They were like, and the people that had the number were like, stop fucking calling this number.
Oh man. So yeah, the last thing I want to mention is so the only reason why I brought up the whole Jaden Smith coming to Karate Kid, this was before season 3 broke out. I was catching up on season 2, and then I noticed Will Smith is credited as an executive producer.
Yeah, he's a producer.
So when I Googled it, it says here, Will Smith is an executive producer on Cobra Kai, and here's why the movie star is involved with the show. Sony owned the Karate Kid franchise when the first 4 movies were made, but Smith's production company, Overbrook Entertainment, acquired the rights to spearhead the reboot. So technically, he still owns those rights, and that's why like he's credited as an executive producer. And I talk about not letting. I mean, he could have sold those rights after they made the movie, because they never made a sequel, right, with Jaden Smith. But the movie did well. I guess they just like didn't think, like they just held on to the rights. So I mean, now that they held on to the rights, like man, look at that money flowing from that Netflix money truck. So
yeah, like this is, and I'm glad that he's just a producer in it, because
same.
We don't need that.
Oh, we're gonna bring Jaden Smith back. They gotta bring Daddy.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's the fact of you're confusing the lore a little bit, because where they're at, right? And once you finish, Mike, you will 100. I think you will agree with this. Where they're going with the storyline, that would be like, it'd be amusing at first, but then you'd be like, okay, did we really need to do that? I'm far more interested in bringing that one girl with the glasses back. She needs to be back. What's her name?
Aisha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like
didn't
her character, being ho-hummed off the show. And I watched a video on it, this thing on YouTube. It wasn't because she was a baby or one, like, they just didn't have anything for her. And it was not a mutual agreement, but they didn't have anything for her, so they didn't waste your time. I'm hoping you guys can do better than that, because you have proven that you have written an amazing series. Do better than that. You can write something. I can do it. And I've just been doing fan fiction. I can do it. If a non-professional can write her into what she felt during the incident, what do you call it? The situation that happened during season 2 and where she's been in season 3, it can be done. I can do it. You guys are supposed to be professionals. Bring her back for season 4, because I'm very interested to see where her character arc goes, because she's just as much as affected by that whole situation as anybody was, because she had a special relationship with him and Miguel. And you can't tell me that happened and she just kicked rocks and went, oh, one of my best friends could never walk again. I'm gone. Peace out. Like, I don't think so. So you can bring her back in season 4, and I hope they do. Especially, like I said, I can't get into it because I don't want to ruin it for Mike, but Jester, like we talked about, there actually is a very, very good opening for her to return in this little scenario between Cobra Kai and whatever their lame ass
there is.
is.
I mean, they should have just kept her in the first place. I understand.
I agree, but we're past that point,
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, agreed.
But you're right. Like, you're 100% right. There's no reason why she shouldn't have been in season 3. No reason.
Have her in the background. I don't really care. Just keep her in
there. Like, her charisma, and now knowing her backstory and the struggle that young woman has had to go through.
Yep.
She needed this show.
Yeah.
If you know her backstory, she was homeless before this show came.
Right.
She needed this paycheck.
Right.
There's no reason for this. That's why I'm almost on the precipice of saying you writers should be ashamed of yourself, because you knew the situation she was in. And I'm not just saying that because of her situation. We all love her.
Yeah, that's what I said. Everyone was asking about her.
Exactly. No one went, oh, we're glad she's gone. They're like, where is she?
Yeah.
And the best you could do was, don't cut it anymore. That's not good storytelling. Ain't good storytelling.
Yep.
Stop doing So that you have a chance to redeem yourself in season 4, please do so. Because like I said, she's talented and she more than anyone deserves the paycheck, and she needs it right now. So she may not be hurting as much as she was before Cobra Kai.
Right.
But she still has issues that she's dealing with. So let's bring her back in season 4.
Yeah, baby.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening. We're not going to do socials this time because I think we've drawn out the show. I mean,
watch the last episode.
Right, yeah.
Check the show notes, or if you guys want to look for our socials.
At Lord of the Rings titties.
Yeah.
On our show notes.
you got to trademark that now. Get that Twitter handle now before.
Yes,
seriously. I guess so.
If there isn't
strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, or someone who listens to this will be like, I'm gonna get it, and they're gonna have to buy it from me.
Oh boy.
Oh, then keep it.
Yeah, I don't. Clearly, I don't want them.
Don't put yourself in a Friday the 13th situation where you're coming back 30 years later trying to get the rights back.
Hey man, please, I want that shirt name, please.
I need that paycheck, bro.
Come on.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening. Until next time. Bye.
Later.
Peace out, fuckos and fuckettes.